leave it all behind you. I said, take down everything that stands in your way. Don't stop believing it'll work out again, my friend. Stand out and be a part of everything good. Wake up, you're gonna be all that you should. Try out all the things you've always wanted to be. You'll see, 'cause I know what I know, that you've got it in you, and I see that you are a winner.
Yes, I have another article that I want to read. It seems that the National Security Department is speaking out against Trump. But before I do, I'd like to read a comment that a friend of mine on Facebook put on her page that I thought was, well, this is how I feel also. She writes, I see a lot of people who don't want to get into the political discussions because they don't want to lose friends. Here's the thing. If any of y'all wondered why people stayed in Germany in the 30s, given the political climate then, now's your chance to figure it out. If any of y'all wondered what you would do in that time, or if you wondered how a democratic society in Germany could elect a Hitler and then give him unlimited power to wipe out anyone he believed was Untermenschen, German word, Untermenschen. Well, now's your chance. And if you think that's empty rhetoric, I invite you to do an experiment. Find yourself YouTube clips of Hitler and Mussolini, and turn the sound down and watch them. Then watch a clip of Trump. Same. Then rewatch. This time, look at the audiences of each. Then tell me you can support him and not believe the message is clear. Those like me, those like brown people, my friend is gay, those like brown people or Hispanics, those who are in any way not white, rich males, and appropriately submissive females are Untermenschen. We are disposable. And remember that the disabled were the first to die in Hitler's utopia. And then the queers, the gypsies, the Jews, the Catholics, the Poles, the Jehovah's Witnesses, anyone else who got in the way, by the millions. And to this day people wonder, how could it happen? Now watch the clip of Trump's supporters, spittle flying from their lips as they beat up those who don't support them. If you really support that, then you cannot really be my friend. And I won't be sorry to lose you, though I will wish you well, which is more than you will really wish me. Another article I found that I'm not going to read, but it was posted on Facebook yesterday. Nearly 4/5 of white evangelists say they'll vote for Donald Trump. Apparently that's even more than it was for Mitt Romney in 2012, a new poll has found. Interesting, didn't I just say in my video, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, Trump speaks the same language? Yeah. Okay, so we're getting to that article that I am going to read. And you know what's funny is I keep reading in these articles the word disqualify. These things disqualify Trump. Wouldn't it be... It's never happened, I don't think, in my entire lifetime that anybody's been so horrible that before the election is done, they are disqualified from the chance to run and replaced. It would be awesome if that happened to Trump, if he was such a bastard that he was disqualified. Sorry, you're just unfit to serve as president, which he is unfit to serve. National Security releases statement warning that the GOP nominee is a threat to America. This is an article put out July 29th, 2016. Carissa House Dunphy, D-U-N-P-H-Y. It's a hyphenated last name. Republican national security leaders wrote an open letter. I'm going to repeat that. Republican national security leaders wrote an open letter declaring their opposition to a GOP presidency due to the serious threat he poses to our nation. First published on a website entitled War on the Rocks, The Politics of National Security, and then reprinted on Business Insider, the signers of the open letter are some heavy hitters indeed. For example, Ken Adelman has served several Republican administrators and was a member of the Defense Policy Board under President George W. Bush. Daniel A. Blumenthal has served the U.S. government advising on relations with China and served as commissioner on the congressionally mandated U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission from 2006 to 2012. Anna Borshchevskaya specializes in Middle Eastern, Eastern European, and Russian policies and served as the communications director for the American Islamic Conference. In short, these are not random internet bloggers angry with Trump. These are the people who advise our government on keeping our country safe. The group composed the open letter to warn of Trump's threat to the country. They begin by saying that there are not many issues that the entire group has been able to agree upon unanimously, but the dangers our country faces under a Trump presidency is one of them. Some of the specific issues the open letter calls out are as follows. His vision of American influence and power in the world is wildly inconsistent and unmoored in principle. He swings from isolationism to military adventurism within the space of one sentence. His advocacy for aggressively waging trade wars is a recipe for economic disaster in a globally connected world. His embrace of the expansive use of torture is inexcusable. His hateful anti-Muslim rhetoric undercuts the seriousness of combating Islamic radicalism by alienating partners in the Islamic world making significant contributions to the effort. Furthermore, it endangers the safety and constitutionally guaranteed freedoms of American Muslims. Controlling our border and preventing illegal immigration is a serious issue, but his insistence that Mexico will fund a wall on the southern border inflames unhelpful passions and rests on an utter misreading of and contempt for our southern neighbor. His admiration for foreign dictators such as Vladimir Putin is unacceptable for the leader of the world's greatest democracy. He is fundamentally dishonest. Evidence of this includes his attempts to deny positions he has unquestionably taken in the past, including on the 2003 Iraq War and on the 2011 Libyan conflict. We accept that views evolve over time, but this is simply misrepresentation. His equation of business acumen with foreign policy experience is false. Not all lethal conflicts can be resolved as a real estate deal might, and there is no recourse to bankruptcy court in international affairs. The open letter concludes by saying that a Trump presidency would make America less safe and reduce our standing with the rest of the world. This is who a majority of the GOP is backing for President of the United States. Being a Democrat, I'm a little bit biased, but it just seems to me, looking back the last 16 years, the harm that the GOP has caused this country in general. Let's see, we had the Bush years, which drove this country into the greatest recession in my lifetime. Then we had Obama, who had a lot of good ideas, and he implemented some of them. I would say our country is in better shape now than it was at the start of his two terms. But it seemed that at every turn, there they were, the GOP, trying to hamstring his every move. Maybe sometimes that was a good thing, but not always. And it seemed to me that it was like, the attitude was like, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that this president fails. Because they lost the election. They had sour grapes that just went on forever. They lost the election. And so we had our desperately needed leader to pull us out of a really horrible time. And what were they doing? Were they working with him and coming together to try to solve these huge problems and fix our country? No, they were trying to make him look horrible. We don't want this man to succeed. That was basically what I saw the GOP doing. And I'm sorry, you have noises in the background. I have a thirsty, thirsty rat right there. Yes, I have pet rats. Anyway, that was the last 8 years. And now, okay, well, what are we going to do? We're going to give you what we think is the best choice. They give us Trump. A man who clearly does not have an American vision. He has something else. He doesn't belong in this country. He belongs someplace else. He needs his own country. He needs a crown on his head and a throne and a scepter. That's what this man craves. He wants to be a king. He wants to be a dictator. He is aching in his bones to be a dictator. He admires dictators, and that's what he wants to be. That's what he sees himself as. And that's what the GOP put forth as their choice to run our country. I think these people, like I mentioned at the start, the percentage of evangelists that are voting for Trump, and the Republicans that still want to vote for him, even after all the shit. Maybe they should have their own country. Maybe there's a deserted island somewhere still on this planet, and they can go there and build a little wall around it, and they can all be white. They can all think the same and believe the same things, and they can all bow down and kiss Trump's feet. Because, you know, if they don't, they're going to get beat up and thrown out. Because in Trump's little kingdom, it will be fine to beat people up first and then throw them out of the room. So anyway, that's my video. I am still stunned that people are for this man when he says with every breath things that are so contrary to what our country stands for and what I grew up believing in, my morality, my sense of right and wrong. He everything that comes out of his mouth is contrary to that. Do people hate that much? Are people that determined to be bigots and racist and to believe that when they go to a job interview that they have the same shot as anybody else, even if they have a heavy accent, or even if they're black or Mexican? And that's another thing I don't understand. I've now ran into 2 Hispanic women who have been foaming at the mouth rabid for Trump. Is this the kind of brainwashing? I mean, this is brainwashing. The same kind of brainwashing that religion employs. If you repeat something enough times, Hillary is a liar, Hillary is a liar, you can't trust Hillary, Hillary's a liar, Hillary killed a bunch of people, Hillary laughed when she said she got somebody off who raped a little girl. If you repeat these things enough times, people believe it. This is called brainwashing. And religion is very good at it. And I said in a video the other day that Trump speaks that language. Well, maybe that's why so many people are still following him and A Hispanic woman? I've met 2 now. Why would a woman, anyway, want to vote for a man who calls all women pigs and refers to women as pieces of ass? Oh, and if you're not beautiful, you might as well go blow your head off, because you have no value as a human being in his eyes if you're a woman. Why would a woman support that? But especially, why would a Hispanic woman support that? He thinks you're a thief. You're a criminal. He wants to ship you back to wherever your parents or your parents' parents came from. Even if you don't even have an accent, even if you don't even know how to speak Spanish. If you have that Hispanic blood in you, he doesn't want you here. And you support that. I don't understand how any minority could support that. I don't understand how anybody who is physically or mentally challenged could support that after how he mocked that reporter. I can't imagine how any intelligent person who cares about the future of our country could support that. I used to think all people or most people had goodness in them. But it seems to me that the bigots are out there and they're proud of their hate.